Smythe vote. What if Pickard goes 9-0 or 9-1? Don't you have to give him the Conn Smythe? And I was like, maybe he gets a vote, but I don't think he's getting the Conn Smythe. I mean, I understand why my buddy said that, but I'm not sure that if a goalie plays half your playoff games, or actually it'll even be less, he'll get more than half your playoff wins potentially. But if he plays only half your games, I don't know that you can do that. But I thought it was an interesting question. That the Conn Smythe vote kind of has been ripped open a little bit. Draisaitl 4 overtime playoff winners, McDavid being McDavid. The one thing that would concern me if I was Florida is that McDavid on the road in the Stanley Cup final, he hasn't. I know what you're going to say. You're going to say Game 5 last year when he had a big game, but like a massive moment in a major time. You know, he had a puck that went over his stick in overtime tonight. Draisaitl set him up, and it hopped over his stick. And I watched him go to the bench after that, and you could see he was so frustrated, so frustrated. That would just terrify me if I was the Panthers, that just as Barkov hadn't made his imprint on this series yet, McDavid on the road in Florida, you're just like, sooner or later he's going to have a massive moment at a big time. What a series, though. Like, just great hockey, Kyle, and karma points for the Oilers. So I was at the skate on Wednesday, the mystery skate, and there was a young boy who came up to me. His name is Owen. He's from, I believe he was from Halifax, but he and his mother, Amanda, were down in Florida, and they happened to walk by the restaurant the Oilers were having dinner at on Tuesday night. And Paul Coffey saw them, and he invited them in to spend a little bit of time around the team. And this guy was about 10 years old. I think the father is still in Halifax. I think he's like a commercial lobster fisherman or something like that. So the wife and the son were down at the games, and Owen's about 10 years old. And so Paul Coffey, and I asked Paul Coffey about, they told me about it, and I asked Paul Coffey about a post game, and I said, is this true? And he said, yes, it's true. And he actually said that it reminded him of when he was a player, that sometimes the Oilers, like Gretzky and Lowe and Messier and all those guys, they would see a young kid in Edmonton around the team, like a young Oiler fan, and they would do things like that. And he said it brought him back to a time when he was a player, and that kind of thing would happen. And so he not only did he get them to eat with them a little bit, he gave them access to the practice on Wednesday. And they were obviously both so excited. And, you know, I think those are karma points. It's you do things like that, you get good karma.
That's incredible. Like, you met the story now that you've got for 10-year-old Owen now the rest of his life. That's unbelievable. So cool.
Really nice.
So cool.
Really nice.
That's a good one. Hey, I also wanted to bring up too, it was a bit of a tough game 3 for Darnell Nurse, but it really felt like, okay, game on when his goal comes to make it 3-2, had an assist as well. Notice the other day we were talking about this. No beard this year in the playoffs. And I wanted, because I was thinking, I can remember him last year. He had it in years past. He had the beard. Your boots on the ground, you asked him about it the other day. What did he say?
He said last year, after last year, have to change up some things. So he went with no beard because of last year's playoffs. Didn't like some of his struggles, didn't like some of the numbers. Said I had to change it up a little bit. I was like, Kyle, you're on the ball here. You notice stuff. How come you're not here? We could use you. No.
Well, that's what you're there for.
That's right. I have to work now because you're not here. Like, I actually have to do things. No, you were bang on. Nurse said he had to change it up because he didn't like the way last year's playoffs finished. So the other thing too about his goal, Kyle, was it was like one of those goals that like Patrick Kane or remember Riley Smith, the one game that Vegas beat Edmonton. They were the only guys in the building who knew it was in. Like I didn't see it go in initially, but everybody continued to play, and it was a couple seconds until the goal light went on. Like he went to go celebrate with whoever else was playing the point, who passed it to him, and nobody else realized it was in except probably Bobrovsky. That was one of those goal scorer goals.
Wow. Now, did you know the Nugent Hopkins goal was in? Because that was like bang, bang, in and out too.
Yes, I saw that one. I'm glad you mentioned him. He is far from 100%, I think. And I thought he played one of the best games I ever seen him play.
Yeah.
It was interesting how Kevin pointed out that he didn't like that Nugent Hopkins took the face-off on that 5-on-3 goal they gave up because he hasn't been taking many face-offs. Like he's clearly got some hand, wrist thing, and he keeps it pretty guarded. Like, you know, he walked into the building the other night, his hand was in his pocket. There's obviously something there. I thought that was a really good point by Kevin, but I thought Nugent Hopkins was fantastic. I thought he had a great game. I thought there were a lot of players in that game, particularly for the Oilers, who were great. It was a great hockey game. I mean, there's just fantastic hockey, and I think both of these teams are too smart, too mature to let what happened tonight allow them to take their eyes off the prize. Too mature and too smart.
Nugent Hopkins, nearly 24 minutes. No face-offs in Game 3. Did take 2 in Game 4. And the Florida Panthers, Elliotte, I mean, up until this series, they were unbeatable when having a lead after any period in the playoffs. You knew that wasn't going to last forever. But the
not
fact
like
that the
this.
Oilers have done it twice to them, and in particular how it happened on Thursday, it is really hard to fathom. Incredible drama.
Unbelievable drama. We'll see what they do. Like with Stetcher only playing 4 minutes, do they go back to Klingberg?
Yeah.
That'll be one. You know, Evander Kane got benched. He took his penalty at 10:38 of the first. And after he got out of the box, he didn't take another shift until 11 seconds were remaining. And he kind of got demoted a little bit. You know, we'll see what that means. Kane has had an excellent playoffs. He's hit a bit of a wall here. We'll see what that means for game number 5. Just can't wait. Long flight across the continent, but cannot wait for Saturday night. That's going to be a big hockey night in Canada, big hockey night in North America, big hockey night for hockey fans around the world. Kyle, big game. BIGGGGGGGG. That's a lot of G's. Big.
Final Saturday of the NHL season. Game 5 from Edmonton. Final Saturday night.